I'm now standing in the center of the big circle. This is one of the circles in the periphery of it. And what I'm showing here is the way that the plants have literally flattened. They've gone down in a fraction of a second. They're creating this wonderful spiral. And as they're doing so, they're creating this wall at the back. Now, what happens here is very interesting. The spiral splits from itself. It goes into two directions. One goes this way, and this one actually goes towards the center of the crop circle. So it's not made from the center out, it's made from the outside in. Now, that's quite difficult in my book, but here's the good part. The other split goes around this way. It creates this perimeter. It then splits here to create another circle beside it. And as it's returning to its point of origin, the speed in which it's being created, the plants are still going down when the other ones move this way and the two interlocked with each other above and below. When the physicist, in fact, he worked for NASA, he said, that's fascinating because in order to have a spiral that big, and it was over 100 feet wide, by the way, in order to have that spiral coming in and under itself like a basket weave is if you had a downtime of 1.5 seconds. So it's really, really rapid. And what we know from 80 eyewitnesses around the world is that, yes, they occur within 15 seconds regardless of the scale. So what happens to the plants here? Well, for one thing, they're not damaged. This is the whole center of the entire mystery. If you're going to plank this, you will crush these plants straight to the ground. You create breakage, damage. Sometimes when you do it in less mature crop, you can get away with a lack of damage, but still you're pressing the plants to the ground. Because I've been in many crop circles where I'm the first person there at the crack of dawn, and the plants are actually hovering above the soil. They're not touching the ground, they're actually hovering like this. There's a gap of air between them, and it feels really bad. When you look at this and you think, I've got to do my work, I've got to take pictures and measurements, and you have to take your boots off and you walk with your feet, and you can hear the plants being pressed for the first time to the ground. I mean, it's magical and yet kind of shameful at the same time. It's kind of like putting graffiti on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. It's that kind of feeling. But here's the weird thing. We began to notice that the roots of the affected plants aren't going towards the center of the earth. If you're a gardener, you'll understand this. When you pull plants out of the ground, the roots are going that way. In the real crop circles, the roots are pointing the other direction. They're pointing horizontally, suggesting that the local gravitational field may have been tampered with, which is exactly what they told us 20 years before the phenomenon appeared, that there was something to do with the illusion of gravity, as they called it.